Oh, here's a shocker. This is going to upset a lot of people. President Trump answers written questions on Russia from Special Counsel Mueller, says the legal team. Now, I'm going to give you some insight into this, just based on the report. President Trump has submitted answers to written questions posed to him by Special Counsel Robert Mueller's office, Trump's legal team announced today. One of Trump's lawyers, Jay Sekulow, said the president today answered written questions submitted by the special counsel's office. The questions presented dealt with issues regarding the Russia-related topics of the inquiry. The president responded in writing. Rudy Giuliani, another lawyer for Trump, said, it's been our position from the outset that much of what has been asked raised serious constitutional issues, was beyond the scope of a legitimate inquiry. This remains our position today. Giuliani said the president has nonetheless provided unprecedented cooperation and so forth. And he has. They've had 30 witnesses and 1.4 million pages of material. And now they have the president's written responses. This is a brilliant legal strategy the president is undertaking here. It's a brilliant legal strategy. Now, the reporters are never going to comprehend it. You know, we're here to interpret the news and to give our own analysis. No, they're not. But even if they were, they won't interpret it or analyze it correctly. Here's what I see as I read this. Number one, the president and his lawyers have obviously taken the position that they will not tolerate Mr. Mueller, an employee of the executive branch, questioning the president in any way about his presidential prerogatives under the United States Constitution. That is, the firing, or if he chose the hiring, of an FBI director or anybody else. Mr. Mueller does not have the authority, the constitutional authority, to question the president about his prerogatives, or any president in the future. So in this, the president is protecting the office of the presidency. That's very important. Number two, the president, as I see this, is meeting the prosecutor halfway. He's saying, look, no, you're not going to ask me about my presidential duties. It's none of your damn business. And I'm going to protect this office from, rogues like you. But on the other hand, go ahead and ask me about Russia. Just put it in writing. Because I'm not going to submit myself to your grand jury or any subpoena. Any subpoena of my person, as we would call it, that I'm personally required to submit to it. And so by answering questions about Russia in writing, he's not submitting to a subpoena. That's number two. Number three, it's very wise to handle it this way, because Mr. Mueller is a very dishonest man, as are the Democrats who work for him, particularly this Weissman, this little creepy fraud. That's right. So it is very, very unlikely, if the lawyering is good on the president's side, that they'll be able to trip him up with stupid questions. They do not have a right to try and criminalize a thought, an answer, an action of the President of the United States. That is diabolical. That is evil. So by doing this in writing and doing it this way, again, the President is not only ensuring that the very, very crucial questions are answered, but that he's protecting his office and the office of the President. Then finally, number four, should Mr. Mueller foolishly seek a subpoena regarding information or answers relative to the president's prerogatives, or trying to further dig into two questions, and the President of the United States says, I'm not dealing with your subpoena, and then litigates all the way to the Supreme Court, he can at least show the justices, or those who at least are thoughtful, not the hacks. He can at least show those justices. Look, I tried to meet the guy halfway. I tried to deal with the areas that he was assigned to investigate. I've got no problem with that. I answered him. There's no big deal. But then he keeps trying to go further and further and further, and this we will not tolerate. So he can show the Supreme Court they didn't blow off Mueller altogether, But it's Mueller who's out of control. It's Mueller who's overstepping the bounds of his authority. So I think if this is the way it's being handled, and based on what I'm reading here, it seems to be that way, this is exactly the right legal strategy. So I salute them.